Hey, what is going on, guys? So this giant box, which is barely fitting on my desk, as you can see there, is the HGUC 144 scale II Neon Zeong narrative versions. This is the premium Bandai version of the Neon Zeong, which just recently came out. I'm super excited, just got it in today, and it's gonna be a very big boy, as you can tell by this very big box. So as always, a really big, double big, huge big thank you, super thick thank you to USA Gundam Store for sponsoring this review, guys. They sell P Bandai stuff on their site. Please do check it out and buy the stuff from them. And of course, regular stuff as well. P Bandai stuff, regular stuff, anything else that you guys could possibly want there. And you can get 10% off on all that stuff with my coupon code there, ZakuAurelius10. So please do check out the link to their site down below. Show them some love if you don't already. Definitely this unboxing and subsequent review would not have been possible without their support. So let us get into it. Now, the reason why I'm showing you guys this in is just kind of cardboard box first is because it actually doesn't have any outer box. I'm gonna go off tripod here for a minute to show you guys. If you know, like, the original Neon Zeong box, it basically gives you two smaller boxes inside the main box, and that's what we got here. We just got box A, and underneath there we've got box B. So just like with the normal kit, we've got box A and box B, but in this case there's no outer box around them. So here you go, there's what we got there on the side. We just got the NZ999 II Neon Zeong narrative version, Neon Zeong full frontals, customized mobile suit, mobile armor for new type, and some artwork there. You can kind of see like some aspect of the design. This is all like new parts of the design there on it. And yeah, so this is what you got, just same like this folding closed box, same like with the regular version, but in this case, yeah, strangely no outer version. So just take this off and let's pop it open. On the other end of the box, so that we do have an image there, you can see what the kit looks like, just kind of typical P Bandai style there, so there's really not much to it, and it's all just monochrome here on the side of the box. There we've got just the more kind of artwork and title there, but still going to be pretty simple on the outside of the box. So when we pop open the first box here, it looks like just parts, including this super giant tail back skirt part of the mobile armor. What I'm looking for before we get through all the runners is the instructions, and it looks like no instructions in box A. So let's go to box B. So the exterior of box B is a little bit different, that here instead of images of the full kit, we just got close-up images, some details there with the Sinanju Stein narrative version, with the bazookas, with the beam tomahawks, beam axes, and with the beam rifles there in hand. And then the other side, on the side of the box here, you can see that box B shows like the lower half of that, and box A shows like the upper half, so it kind of makes this complete image. And then even the top flap, when folded up, kind of adds to the image there created by all the artwork there on the side of the box. So that's pretty cool. So I'll save you the torture of having to hear me digging through all of these bags of runners, but finally at the bottom of bag B, we got our manual here, and it does kind of make sense, as the manuals usually are at the very bottom of the box, so it should have been a giveaway that this would have been at the very bottom of the boxes. But anyway, there you go, there's what it's going to look like, just a sample painted image. It's kind of funny that just a kit this huge and epic still just has just a very normal kind of manual there, very typical HGUC style manual with just a painted sample image there and all the kind of stuff over here. The overall height 116 meters. Going around here to the back of the manual, we've got a whole bunch of information, very small print on that, but I'll zoom in so you guys can pause the video and read that if you want there, about the II Neon Zeong narrative version. I really don't know why the 2 is in front. That really makes it awkward to read, why they didn't just make it Neon Zeong 2. But there you go. There's about the bazooka, about the arm unit there. Up here about the Sinanju Stein. Doesn't mention narrative version, but just Sinanju Stein there. Got a bit about the large beam axe and the Sturm boosters there. And then about the Psycho Shard generator sold separately. So being that this is a P Bandai kit, I really don't know why they could have just made it just like 2,000 yen more expensive and then just added that in there as well. I think if anyone who's going to spend the money to get this gigantic kit probably would have just spent a little bit more just to get that set included with it instead of having to buy it separately. That said, I am planning on getting one. Someone is selling me one, so I will be getting one a little bit later, but probably not in time for the review of this guy. But later on, once I get that, I'll give you guys a review of that Psycho Shard effect as well, so that'll be later on. And then just there's a look at what the Sinanju Stein itself is going to look like, but we've already seen that and I've reviewed that fantastic kit, but that is included in here of course as well. So here's our color guide as well, all in Japanese and English, and looks like nothing really special inside here, inside the manual really, other than that it's just kind of your standard stuff. So we've got our whole parts list here, of course. And you will see there's some X's on some of these large armor panel parts there on the front because that's where the new parts are, but it looks like you have all of those parts included. So just at first glance, it looks like you could probably make this as the original Neo Zeong if you wanted to just have a white version of that. And obviously without just painting the original version. So it goes through all of the parts for that, and a few more crossed off parts here on a couple of these other runners. And then we got all the parts list there for the Sinanju Stein narrative version, which is also included here. And it looks like we're going to have a little bit more extensive sheet of waterside decals in this than what we got with the regular one. The regular one only came with just the Neo Zeong marking for the back skirt, whereas this does come with a little bit more in the way of markings, so that's pretty cool. And then it's just all through the construction. I will build this live on YouTube and Twitch. I'll stream building this sometime in the next couple days, maybe tomorrow or sometime right away. If you're watching this later on though, that stream does exist here on my channel, so watch that if you're interested in the building process. Let's go to the back here. It's just talking about like some of the things that you can do with the arms there on it, of course, how you can remove the giant fuel tanks and then just store it in the like lower position like that. Again, it's all same as the regular kit, the original kit. And then just how to mount and use all the weapons and everything. So you got some gimmicks here built in with the front panels on that, how the weapons can store in the front panels there, and all of that. And then finally at the back here, we've got a guide how to put on the Psycho Shard effect parts if you have that. And then finally at the very end, we got our decal guide, where to place the decals there around on the kit. And then stickers for the Stein as well. So I think we just have a sticker sheet for that. I don't think there's any watersides really specifically for the Sinanju Stein. I could be wrong though. Let's get a look and see. Anyway, I'll find that stuff and then let's get a look through all the runners. Alright, as you can imagine, we've got a lot of stuff to get through here, so let's get cracking with the foil stickers first. Now these are the foil stickers for the Sinanju Stein narrative version. Pretty sure these are just exactly the same as what we had with the regular kit, so nothing really too different there. We do have some new stickers here for the Neo Zeong now. They're basically just going to make up these like yellow rings and red details that it has on the new parts there on like the front of the shoulder bits, and then a couple little camera stickers there. I think those are just for like the beam rifles or something maybe. So we got a few on there. And then we have this very large sheet of waterside decals. It's definitely a lot larger than I was imagining, because when you see it in the manual, it doesn't really look all that big, but I guess you have to remember how big the actual kit is. So it is going to actually include the decals for the Sinanju Stein as well. So those ones we saw at the back of the manual. So there are a bunch of decals there that are for just the Sinanju Stein itself, which is really cool. But then obviously a bunch of these really big ones there for the Neo Zeong itself, a bunch of the 02s and just some red markings and up there as well. So it's kind of similar to like a mega size, where it's got some really nice decals on there, but not a whole lot of them. So it's not going to look like a big like Verka, like detailed up with like tons of decals everywhere. Just a few here and there, but still it's nice to have these included anyway. It's pretty rare for a P-Bandai kit to come with waterside decals, but I think they made an exception for something this big, which is nice. We got PC132 for our polycaps there for the Sinanju, and SB13 for our clear yellow beam saber effect parts for it. A couple of screws and nuts there, which will be for holding like the main body in there together. Got this big giant base here, which will be BA7A, which I believe this was originally included first with the Master Grade XS, if I remember correctly, or the Perfect Grade Zeta, one of the two, something like that. And then we've got our clear plastic rod here for holding it up on the base. And it may be a little bit redundant because I've already unboxed this kit separately, but we'll go through all the runners of the Sinanju Stein as well, just for the sake of going through everything that's in the box here. So here we have runner A, and the first few runners through G, through F or something, I believe, are all going to be from the Sinanju Stein. So here's runner A from the Sinanju Stein, just some of the parts for the weapons and head and skirt armor, things like that in a light gray color. And then runner B, the rest of our armor parts here in the light gray color with a bunch of stuff there for the arms and legs, fuel tanks and everything like that. We've got two of this B1 runner. Runner C would be our dark navy blue parts there for the Sinanju Stein. Runner D in that dark brownish color here for some of the hands and weapons parts and things like this. This is originally from the original Sinanju kit, but it also came with this Stein as well. In this case, we've got two of the D runner though. That is so that we're going to be able to have two sets of the weapons. And then runner E1 here is going to have the rest of our kind of internal parts and joint parts, things like that. We've got a runner E2 as well, which is a copy of this half of the runner over here. Runner F is the bazooka parts, which did come with the Sinanju Stein, but these parts originally first came with the first Neo Zeong kit, so it's kind of cool that they're making their appearance back in the kit now. And we've got two of these. And then we've got runner F from the original Sinanju. Now this one unfortunately was not included with the Sinanju Stein narrative version, but we've got it here. This is the beam effect parts from the HGUC Sinanju, so these are really cool for the beam axis. Runner G1 would be our black sleeves parts there for it, and runner G2 would be our kind of little bit darker gray for some of the details on the Sinanju Stein. And that is it for the Steiny. Now we'll get on to the Neo Zeong parts. So even though we already had runner G1 and G2, this one is also labeled as runner G. Obviously it's not on a runner, it's just this separate piece. But that was because the original Sinanju only went to runner F, so this Stein in this case has an extra runner in it. So anyway, that's why we've got multiples of runner G, but it's just this big, huge, giant piece. Not really much in the way of detail on there, except for some cat hair from being on my floor. And then runner H1 is going to be this part here for the kind of exterior of the shoulder part, and we've got 2 of this H1 part, and H2 would be the other half, the bottom half of those. So we've got 2 of these parts here as well. And then runner I is this absolutely massive runner here with some very large pieces on it for the exterior armor of the Neo Zeong, of course. And then runner J is some of the internal structural parts here of it. Strangely, the other half of this is like way down, like right near the end of all the runners. I don't know why they separated them so much, but this is just in a kind of dark gray plastic here. And then runner K is the part for the underside of the back skirt. Again, a very huge piece here. Runner L is these 2 massive pieces for the structural part of the kind of waist section of the Neo Zeong. Runner M is back to the off-white armor, and it's just some of the larger pieces here for the front skirt section. Runner N has some like off-white thruster bell parts there, which go like inside some other parts. Part here for the shoulder, the part that opens up, and then the big part there for the bottom of the fuel tanks. And so we've got 2 of this N runner. The runner O is these giant parts here for making the arms, and of course this is the parts to make 2 of the arms. We've got 6 of them, so that means we've got 3 of this gigantic runner. Runner P is more of the gigantic armor plates there for around the front of the shoulders. Runner Q would be for relatively some of the smaller white armor parts there. Then runner R would be some of the other parts there for each of the arms, like the kind of cuff part and obviously the fingers there and the internal parts like kind of the elbow. And again, this is for 2 arms, so we've got 3 of this R runner as well. And then runner S, more big, large parts here for the joints of the arms. And so once again, we've got 3 of this S runner. Runner T still in this dark gray color, and we've just got a few more of the detailed parts like in the kind of inside the shoulders. And so we've got 2 of this T runner. Runner U would be these gigantic gray parts here for the inside of the shoulders under the main panels. Runner V would be some of the detail parts, vents for the fuel tanks, and then these parts here which go into the shoulders and on the back skirt. We've got 2 of this V runner. Runner W has some of the huge parts there for the base, and then a couple more parts like for inside the skirts and the waist section there. Runner X1, again, just some more of the larger like inner parts, structural parts, things like that. And then we do also have a runner X2, which is a copy of this half of the runner over here on this side. Runner Y, more ABS parts here for the arms, and I should have mentioned which runners are ABS or which are not, but pretty much all of like the structural internal parts are all going to be ABS for all of them. And once again, we've got 3 of this Y runner. And then runner Z1 for just the big huge thruster bells on there and a few other little bits and bobs. We've got 2 of the Z1 runner, and then we've got 1 of runner Z2, which is all the same except for these 2 smaller thruster bells on there. It doesn't have those. So there you go, that is all through the alphabet. But wait, there's still more. Now we get into the W weapons kind of parts. Anyway, it's like WA, WB, WC, WD, WE, something like that. So anyway, here's WA1, and we've got some parts here in this kind of light gray color. And then WA2 for this part of the runner there, minus the 1 part there. WB, some parts here in brown, some of the detailed parts and things like that. And then we've got WB2, which is a copy of this half of the runner, minus the parts here on the side. WC1, some parts here in navy, and then WC2 is just a copy of that 1 part there up for the fuel tank. WD1, more parts in the light gray color, little vents and parts there for around on the fuel tanks for making the gray stripe. And then we've got WD2 for this part of the runner. WE, pretty self-explanatory. You got these gigantic like liter size bottles of these giant fuel tanks. We got 2 of those, obviously. And WG1, here's where we're starting to get finally into some of the new parts that are specific for this kit. So these parts are in red, some parts here that go into the front of the shoulders. And then WG2, some new panels there for the front of the shoulders as well. WF is the other half of that internal structural part for the shoulders, which I mentioned before. Then WH is some more new parts here for this kit. It's a really cool, like dark gray, but it looks almost kind of like gunmetal. It's not, but it just looks like that just because of the shine of the plastic. But anyway, pretty cool new parts there. And then WI1, some more new parts here for this, including some new hands and a new version of the B-Max. Looks like with a much longer handle there for that. And then WI2 for some doubles of those parts, including doubles of that extended B-Max. So that is it for the unboxing, guys. My room is pretty much a mess right now. I don't think I can really do anything until this thing is built, so I'm gonna have to build this right away and stream that again on YouTube and Twitch, so make sure you follow on one of the two places if you want to watch that. And then I'll get the review for you guys as soon as possible. Again, huge thank you to US Gundam Store for making this possible, guys. Can't really thank them enough for all of their support, especially for something big and ridiculous and expensive as this. So I'm looking forward to getting it built, sharing that with you guys, and then just enjoying this massive kit. So thank you all so much for watching. I know it's a very long unboxing, but obviously there was a lot to go through. So thank you so much for that. If you have questions and comments, leave those down below. And as always, guys, have a great day. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye. Hey! Thanks for watching, guys. Remember, if you want to check the kit out for yourself, you can head over to USA Gundam Store. Use that coupon code ZakuAurelius10. Save yourself 10%. Thanks for watching, guys. See you next time. Bye-bye.